morning. I'm the Reverend Jen Raffensperger, and I serve as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York. If you were getting some of your energy up while we were dancing beforehand, I invite you to focus a little bit of that energy inward, to feel it in your body down to your toes and up to the top of your head, and to prepare yourself for worship as we hear the sound of the bell.
From deep in my heart I reach out and touch. When our spirits unite, our light shines bright.
As we light the chalice, the symbol of our living faith, here in the sanctuary, you are invited to also light a chalice or candle at home. I invite you to hear today's chalice lighting words from Andrea Hawkins Camper. Be about the work. May we see all as it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be, for if not us, who? If not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice for the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do. This is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge. To be the living embodiment of our principles. To be about the work of building the beloved community. To be a people of intention and a people of conscience.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Shinneman, Director of Lifespan Faith Development here at UUCY, and it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. Did you know that the first women to be ordained in the United States were Unitarians and Universalists, namely Olympia Brown and Antoinette Blackwell? In fact, during the 1800s, women played a very large role in help spreading our faith. They went on lecture circuits, drawing thousands. They worked tirelessly for social justice. And I wish I could say that that trend continued well into the 1900s, but it did not. By the time we reached 1968, of the 616 ministers registered in the directory by the UUA, 17 were women. 17 out of 616. But by this time in the country, second wave and third wave feminism were making their way into the wider world, and yes, into Unitarian Universalism as well. And women banded together for better representation, better control of their own lives and their own participation in their lives. They formed a caucus for women in ministry to come together, to commiserate, to brainstorm ideas for how they can move forward. And they worshiped together. And the poem I'm about to share with you was written by Meredith for worship with the Women's Caucus. I encourage you to hear it in the spirit of the 1970s and what women were fighting for, not only in this faith, but in this world. There was a young woman who swallowed a lie. We all know why she swallowed that lie. Perhaps she'll die. There was a young woman who swallowed a rule. Live to serve men, she learned it in school. She swallowed the rule to hold up the lie, and we all know why she swallowed the lie. Perhaps she'll die. There was a young woman who swallowed some fluff, lipstick and candy and powder and puff. She swallowed the fluff to sweeten the rule. There was a young woman who swallowed a line. I like 'em dumb, baby, you suit me fine. She swallowed the line to tie up the fluff. There was a young woman who swallowed a pill. Might have said no, but she hadn't the will. She swallowed the pill to go with the line. She swallowed the line to go with the fluff. She swallowed the fluff to go with the rule. She swallowed the rule to swallow the lie. We all know why she swallowed the lie. There was a young woman who swallowed a ring. Looked like a princess, felt like a thing. She swallowed the ring to make up for the pill. She swallowed the pill to make up for the fluff. She swallowed the fluff to make up for the rule. She swallowed the rule to make up for the lie. We all know why she swallowed that lie. Maybe she'll die. There was a young woman who swallowed some Spock. Stay at home, mother, take care of your flock. She swallowed the Spock to go with her ring, and swallowed the ring to go with the line, swallowed the line to go with the pill, swallowed the pill to go with the fluff. She swallowed the fluff to sweeten the rule. We all know why she swallowed the lie. And on this day, the young woman woke up, and she said, I've swallowed so much that I wish I were dead. I swallowed it all to go with Spock. I swallowed the Spock to go with the ring. I swallowed the ring to make up for the pill. I swallowed the pill to go with the line. I swallowed the line to tie up the fluff. I swallowed the fluff to sweeten the rule, and I swallowed the rule to hold up the lie. Why in the world did I swallow that lie? Perhaps I'll die. She ran to her sister. It wasn't too late to be liberated, regurgitate. She threw up the Spock. She threw up the ring. Looked like a princess. Felt like a thing. She threw up the pill and threw up the line. I like 'em dumb, baby. You suit me fine. She threw up the fluff. She threw up the rule. Live to serve men. She learned it in school. And last but not least, she threw up the lie. We all know why she threw up that lie. She will not die. Today, we'll hear stories, we'll hear lines, readings, all about how important it is for women to have their own agency. This was written in the 1970s. It might as well have been written today. That says a lot about where we are as a country right now. I hope you heed it in your heart and in your soul. Blessed be, and amen.
When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be questions with me. If you will show me acceptance, then I may learn to give as you do. Then I may learn to give. When I am troubled, will you listen to me? When I am lonely, will you be my friend? Will you be there for me? Comfort me tenderly. Will you share some of your feelings with me? If you will show me commitment, then I may learn to love as you do. Then I may learn to love.
Donna and I are doing a shared reading this morning. This reading is by Lauren Zuniga, an activist, a slam poet. This was written in 2012, but much like Matt's reading from 50 years ago, it's still relevant. This work, which we will be reading, sharing voices, is titled Personhood. Dear senators and representatives in Oklahoma, Mississippi, Virginia, Colorado, you want to legislate personhood, and I, for one, think that is a fantastic idea.
Let's hang person signs on the 408,000 children currently in foster care.
Let's give person papers to the undocumented workers keeping your lawns so emerald green.
Let's grant personhood to gay couples who just want to marry the person we love.
Let's build person-sized suits of armor for the transgender children trying to fit into a culture that refuses to recognize them.
Let's write in huge, bold letters, "You are a person," on the walls of inner city high schools, on the hospital beds of uninsured workers, on the prison cells and tombs of soldiers killed for oil.
Let's give the gift of personhood to every woman. Tell them your body is not a battleground, your womb not a campaign promise, your bedroom not artillery.
See, it is true that some of us would not have been born if choice had not been an option for our mothers.
It is also true that there are still children losing mothers to dirty basement clinics.
There are children that don't have clean drinking water.
See, I think that most Americans think that legislators were hired to make laws for the persons that already exist. I think most Americans do not wake up every morning thinking about when life begins. They think about how to pay their mortgage, how to pay for their children's class pictures, uniforms, braces, leukemia.
They think about how to sit across the dinner table from a man born breech in a small town in Arkansas, who believes exactly the opposite of everything you know to be true and say, "Grandpa, you are a person, but you will never need to pass a bill to prove it." I was 17 when the Supreme Court ruled on Roe versus Wade, fully engaged in the rise of the feminist movement and riding the end of the wave of the 60s revolution for peace, justice, freedom, and equality. I knew it was a momentous occasion as there were many heated conversations between my devout Catholic parents, my father representing the unbending patriarchy of the Catholic faith, while my mother openly rejoicing in the pronouncement that women could now have freedom over their own body. She was very clear when it came to what she thought about the views of the Church and all matters around reproductive choices. During those turbulent teenage years, it was the one topic where my mother and I agreed. I don't believe most people fully comprehend the weight of that long stretch of fertility spanning 30 to 40 years and the intricacies of navigating the trials of being persons with a uterus. If sexually active, the monthly prayers and bargaining of hoping all is well, and then shifting into the phase of wishing every month that that little pink line would appear on the pee stick. Lots of anxiety across the spectrum. What I know for sure is an unintended pregnancy and the decision to obtain an abortion is not on any person's bucket list. I have accompanied numerous women over the years seeking an abortion, each time profoundly grateful for the freedom of choice. The physical procedure for the majority is simple and uncomplicated, but what lingers for many is the stigma and/or shame associated with abortion. Despite the physical freedom, the mental emotional burden is carried and often becomes a hidden wound. Silence can become a way to avoid being ostracized as one of those women. Sadly, during the past 49 years, I believe we have fallen short of fully integrating and normalizing abortion in body, mind, and spirit as an integral aspect of women's health. I have often wondered if in some measure this has perpetuated the raging current and stronghold operating today. Did we not adequately attend to the spiritual facet related to abortion? To offer an approach, however late to this conundrum, is to perform a sacred release ritual as a potential element of the abortion process. I would like to share a story of a woman with whom I am intimately acquainted. She is a married woman with 2 children and well into her 40s, unexpectedly and unintentionally found herself pregnant. Over 60% of women seek abortion who already have children. There was little hesitancy in what her course of action would be, but the hitch was the spiritual emotional component. Despite having left behind her faith of origin, the deeply entrenched fragments of her old-time religion still echoed. So she contacted a shaman, and the day before her procedure, she entered into a conversation with a soul residing within her womb. In a deep mystical connection, the partnership was discussed, and an agreement to release and return the soul back into the loving realm of the divine was reached. For this particular woman, it provided significant closure, allowing comfort, compassion, peace of mind, and soul healing. Of course, this may not suit the needs of all people, but having a spiritual presence for some may help alleviate the heavy burden of shame or guilt that may persist. I am reminded of a quote that states, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience." At the same time, we also remain as a people riding that long arc for peace, justice, freedom, and equity in this country. On December 15th of 2021, Senate Bill 956 was referred to the PA Senate Health Committee. And on January 20th of this year, a companion bill, Bill 2252 from the House, was referred to the Committee on Health. Both bills are proposing an amendment to the Constitution of Pennsylvania, providing that there is no right to abortion or funding for abortion. This strategy by the GOP provides a frightening path to bypass the veto power of the governor, which up to this point, our governor has prevented numerous egregious bills around reproductive justice to pass into law. People, we find ourselves at a perilous time in history where those with uteruses are losing body autonomy. This unraveling directly impacts people of color, poor people, and the general health and well-being of all persons across our Commonwealth. I invite you to join me putting your faith into action by contacting members of these health committees and your representatives to voice your concerns related to these current bills, as well as to ask our PA Senators, Casey and Toomey, on the federal level to vote in favor of the Women's Health Protection Act, which would ensure protection for people seeking abortion. May we have the courage to lift up our voices and step into action, for these are indeed perilous times.
Thank you, Donna, for your impassioned activism and your heartfelt witness, and for sharing them both with your beloved community. I was 8 years old when my mother first took me to the March for Life in Washington, D.C. Held annually since 1974, which was the first anniversary of the Roe v. Wade decision, it draws faithful from around the United States to stand in opposition to this settled law. The Catholic Church that I was raised in hired a bus or two every year to take the faithful on the short drive into downtown D.C. for this act of public witness in service of their faith. And as a child, this was to be for me an example both of moral conviction and of civic engagement. It was my personal first introduction to the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. At that particular stage of personal and faith development that I was in at age 8, the matter of abortion to me seemed very clear and simple. This was bolstered by the large and often horrifying signs and pictures held aloft at the annual march, sign after sign, showing what were purported to be the aftermath of the abortion industry. These images haunted me and, of course, convinced me that abortion was bad. Several years later, we had stopped attending the annual march. My mother was never comfortable with the large crowds or the easy oversimplification. And I had grown in my personal faith and biological development. I had a clearer understanding of what it meant for me to be a person with a uterus. Around this time, I also gained a clearer understanding of the prohibitions my Catholic faith placed on the use of birth control, and a deep crack formed in the foundation of my personal faith. If you affirm that terminating a pregnancy is not a moral choice, I asked, how can you oppose that which would prevent people from needing to make that choice? What was so dangerous about choice? How could it possibly be so easy for anyone to proclaim what the correct choice was for another person? It was Unitarian Universalism that introduced me to the framework of reproductive justice. More than just reproductive rights, reproductive justice is the term created by women of color in 1994 to center the experience of the most vulnerable and to bridge the gap between reproductive rights and other social justice movements. It's that intersectionality we also spoke of last week. Sister Song, a leading organization in this reproductive justice work, defines reproductive justice as the human right to maintain personal bodily autonomy, have children, not have children, and parent the children we have in safe and sustainable communities. Under the umbrella of personal bodily autonomy, the Unitarian Universalist Association also specifically named the right to express one's sexuality freely when it issued its 2015 Statement of Conscience upholding reproductive justice as fully aligned with UU values. And it's the very last line of that Statement of Conscience I'd like for us to sit with for a moment today. The last line reads, "With open minds, helping hands, and loving hearts, we work toward reproductive justice and commit to replacing insecurity with safety, fear with acceptance, judgment with love, and shame with compassion." A commitment to replacing insecurity with safety, fear with acceptance, judgment with love, and shame with compassion. Insecurity, fear, judgment, shame. Those words resonate with me when I think about the messages that the faith of my childhood had for me about my own body. And maybe they resonate with you too. And for that, I grieve. I grieve for every person who received a message that their own body was shameful, that their desires were sinful, and that their choices should not be their own. I grieve for the ideas, both religious and cultural, that too many of us absorb, that our bodies should look a certain way, that our lives should follow a certain pattern, that only a certain narrow set of choices are correct, moral, or good. I grieve, too, for all those who gather outside abortion clinics with their signs and their shouted prayers that sound too much like threats. I grieve with every person, with every partner or friend or parent or loved one of every person who walks alongside them as they enter and face this barrage of shouts and judgment. I grieve for the very real oversimplification of these issues in the United States today and for years. As many of you will remember and recognize, in 2004, Sister Joan Chichester said during an interview with Bill Moyers, "I do not believe that just because you are opposed to abortion, that makes you pro-life. In fact, in many cases, I think your morality is deeply lacking if all you want is a child born, but not a child fed, a child educated, a child housed. And why would I think that you don't? Because you don't want any tax money to go there. That's not pro-life, that's pro-birth. We need a much broader conversation on what the morality of pro-life is." The framework of reproductive justice, aligned with the values of our faith, calls us to work for a world where children are fed, educated, and housed, where children are safe, where there is clean drinking water, where the children of Black mothers are no more likely to be incarcerated or killed than the children of white mothers, where the transgender child is loved and adored exactly the way the cisgender child is loved and adored, where each of us can love and adore our own bodies, our own lives, and our own choices. Today, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York joins with over 120 other UU congregations around the United States to focus our worship on our commitment to reproductive justice. We recommit ourselves today with so many of our siblings in faith to a more just and equitable world, to a world where we work to replace insecurity with safety, fear with acceptance, judgment with love, and shame with compassion. There is healing to do in the body of our faith. There is healing to do in the body of our nation. There is healing to do in each body. And in that spirit today, I invite each of you hearing these words to join me in a body blessing. This blessing is lightly adapted from the work of the Reverend Lisa Bovee-Kemper. So please make yourselves comfortable, home on Zoom, here in the room. In whatever way you feel at ease doing so, at each stage of this blessing, you are invited to place your hands on a portion of your body. I will state that. You may do it or not, as feels comfortable and natural to you. And we're going to begin with the forehead. May you be blessed with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May your intellect take you far on your journey. You have been blessed with reason and free will. It is your call every day to use these gifts. And if you want to move your hand to your throat, I won't block my microphone, though. May you be blessed with voice. May you learn the complex nature of truth-telling. The ability to speak the truth in love is something that requires honesty, empathy, and care. You are challenged every day to seek the joy that comes with sharing your truth compassionately, as well as listening to others. And if you want to place your hands on your heart, may your heart be full and blessed with love. May you know the agony of heartbreak as it is intertwined with the elation of love. The heart is a strong and resilient organ, one that will be with you until the end of your time on earth. May you heed the wisdom of your heart and always trust the truth it tells. Place your hands on your abdomen. You are blessed with the gift of sexuality. May you always remember that you are a beloved child of the universe. Your body is sacred and belongs to you alone. May you live into the full expression of your identity as a human being, embracing your true sexual and gender identity. The gift of sexuality brings with it many rewards as well as great responsibility. May you always retain power over your own being, striving toward mutually fulfilling and just relationship. And now we bless our own hands. So in whatever way that feels comfortable, if it's an aspect of prayer, if it's grasping your own hands. When you were a baby, your tiny hands were your first contact with the world. Before you could see more than a few feet from your face, you grasped the finger of your loved ones. You catch yourself with your hands when you fall, and you express love and comfort to others with them too. May your hands be gentle and strong. May you use them to carry light into the darkness and to carry rest to the weary. May your hands always find the place of greatest need, beginning with your own, and may the spirit of love and life hold you in the palm of their hand wherever you may go. And if it's comfortable for you, wrap your arms around yourself. May you be blessed on your journey. May you always remember that you are a whole person, that each of these parts work together. We offer our blessings upon you, body, mind, and spirit. May you be guided by compassion, truth, justice, and love. May you find rest on the journey, always remembering where you came from, being mindful that your ancestors surround you, whether they are present with you on earth or have gone back to the soul of the world. May you be blessed in all things and carry blessings with you wherever you go.
still ruling the country today. And I don't really feel like they have the right to take more than they already have from us away. This ain't about that, or has it really been all along? No, this ain't about that. If you wanna focus on right and wrong, shouldn't schools have better sexual education or contraception information for once? Only 24 states require sex ed, so more than half of US teens need a condom. The problem's abortion. Focus on what's going on, it isn't abortion. If you wanna focus on right and wrong, this is my body, this is my choice, a painful decision, but you aren't gonna steal my voice. It isn't just morals, and it's not black and white. We will govern our bodies, it's our legal right. Let's make the for every woman who's ever had to get on her knees, stand up. For every woman who's ever had to say please, stand up. Stand up. This is my body, this is my choice, a painful decision. You aren't gonna steal my voice. It isn't just morals, and it's not black and white. This is our bodies, and there are legal rights. Let's make the fight. Oh, let's make the fight. Let's make the fight.
At this time in our service each week, we invite you into generosity. This congregation relies on the time, the talent, and the treasure of its members and friends in order to maintain our community, to grow our capacity, and to thrive, both now and into the years to come. It is the practice of this congregation to share each week's offering with an organization serving our community that upholds our values. We use Share the Plate to honor our commitment to service to our local community through these generous donations to local partners. January's Share the Plate recipient is the Northeast Neighborhood Association. Established as a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 1996, operating a food pantry located in the Pine Street Center at the corner of East Philadelphia and North Pine Streets. Operates Crystal's Palace, a resource center located at 216 Chestnut Street. Free food, clothing, diapers, and household items are distributed to anybody in need. Another valuable service the Northeast Neighborhood Association provides is monthly food delivery to seniors and the disabled who live in nearby apartment buildings. NENA further serves the neighborhood by informing residents about city codes and ordinances and about how to contact city departments regarding needs, services, and complaints. NENA works with neighborhoods to keep the area clean and safe. Please join us in extinguishing our chalice and your home chalices if you have lit them with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of commitment, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide. and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
The time of our worship has ended. The time for our service has begun. Go into the week seeking always for ways to counter the shame, fear, judgment, insecurity you may feel or see where it happens. Care for yourself, care for those around you. Bring the light of concern and care into the larger world. So may it be.
Of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Thank you for sticking through until the announcements with us. If you are still here, thank you. Hello. Today's Reproductive Justice Sunday, as I said briefly during my homily, is a part of the larger 30 Days of Love campaign, an annual program by Side with Love, an organization within Unitarian Universalism that prompts us to put our faith into action. You can learn much more about the campaign at sidewithlove.org, sidewithlove.org. And Donna already mentioned UU Justice PA, which is also many states, not all, have statewide Unitarian Universalist organizations that engage with legislature that speaks to our values. And if you want to learn more about that or any of these things, you can, I don't remember the social justice email off the top of my head. I don't know. You can mail me, revgen@uucy.org, or you can look on the website for social justice. I can point you in the right direction. If you are interested in doing more, learning more, please do reach out. There are ways we can connect you to a larger network of people of faith doing work on a side that isn't always the side associated with people of faith, even as we fight to fight against some of that binary thinking of good side, bad side in our own minds as well. But working for and upholding our own values is always important. And next week, please don't, not next week, it's 2 weeks from now. Math is hard. It's 3 weeks from now. February 13th. Next week is Imulk. It's going to be a great service with the Earth Center Traditions. And then we'll start our stewardship campaign on the 6th. And on February 13th, you'll want to tune in. It feels so weird to say that. There we go. It's social justice at UUCY.org. Thank you. It's in the chat. That's Sunday, February 13th. Luminescence is a uniquely Unitarian Universalist holiday. It was founded in 2007 by a California congregation, the exact town I cannot recall off the top of my head, Santa Clarita, I think. And it is a way to uphold the fact that we come from many different faith paths, but forge our own way together. I am learning about luminescence this year too. I have never been a part of a congregation that celebrated luminescence, so I look forward to learning and sharing that celebration with you all. That's it. That's it for announcements. Thanks. That's what I got. Thank you all for being here.